Have you ever heard of NaNoWriMo? I had never heard of it. And somebody told me in whatever year I did it. And they said, well, you can write a novel of 50,000 words in a month. And I said, no, you can't. And I have to try it. So I sat down with zero in my mind and did that. And that's how I ended up with my first adult romance, which was then called Second Chances, I think. And now is Time and Forever because there are so many books.
Hi, I am Donna McDine, and welcome to the Energy of Serenity podcast. Here we unleash empowerment through the power of the word. Join me and my guests as we share stories, tools, and insights to help you feel grounded and aligned. Let's dive in. Hello and welcome. This is Donna McDine of the Energy of Serenity podcast, and I am thrilled to have this beautiful Susan Berger with me today. Actress, author, you name it. Her background is fascinating. So, Susan, thank you for being with me today.
My pleasure.
Great. Awesome. So before we get into our great conversation that we're going to have, I want to share with the listeners a bit about your background because it's truly fascinating. Susan was born in Buffalo, New York. She went to nursery school in Paris, France. Finished elementary school in Cape Town, South Africa, and graduated high school in Rome, Italy. In between, she lived in 5 different states, so she called a lot of places home. Currently, she lives in Los Angeles, California. I am blown away because I have lived in the same county, the same state, all 58 years, so I am so impressed with all your different locales. After she graduated from University of Georgia, she got a scholarship to teach acting at Honolulu Community Theater in Hawaii and took a master's degree at the University of Hawaii. From there, she went to London, where she hoped to pursue an acting career. England's work permit requirements didn't make that possible, so she found herself at the Front Street Theater in Memphis, Tennessee, and from there to New York. She's appeared in many regional and off-Broadway plays in both the original Broadway productions of the musical The Robber Bridegroom. One of her most memorable experiences was being cast in Joe Cohen's The Tragedy of Macbeth. The film shot during COVID, and everyone involved was grateful to be part of a truly magical experience. Susan's other films include, I can't even pronounce this. Maybe you can help me. Gazillionaire?
Oh, Gazillionaire.
Gazillionaire. So sorry. Looks to Kill, The Dollar King, and The Legacy of Cloudy Falls. Currently, Susan can be seen on Jury Duty on Amazon, playing Barbara Goldstein. And I'm so excited to tell everybody in my family, I know her from our days from Guardian Angel Publishing. So Jury Duty was truly a breathtaking experience as all the dialogue was improvised around a set of premises that the cast were never sure would actually happen the way the writers and producers imagined them. That blows me away. Other TV appearances include roles in Nobody Wants This, where my husband found me saying, I know her! The Fallout, Sex Lives of College Girls, LAD, L-A-I-D, American Horror Story, American Horror Story, Baskets, Mom, Criminal Minds, Bob Hart's Apostolha, and Hunters. Oh my goodness. Plus a various of commercials with playing Mayhem's mother on Allstate, Grandma on Jimmy John's, and currently running our 2 Dave & Buster's where she plays a grandma. I am just blown away, Susan, by your background. Plus, she is an author, which is just incredible. So we're going to get underway with our conversation now so that Susan can really do justice on her beautiful background of acting, teaching, writing, publishing, you name it. So Susan, again, welcome. As you can tell, I am so excited to have you here today.
Thank
So
you.
I'd like you to really talk about how your many different hats have cultivated such a beautiful, beautiful life of mother, daughter, friend, grandmother, actress, published author. I'm just blown away by everything that you've accomplished and you continue to accomplish. And I'd really like to hear about how the power of the word has really cultivated your beautiful life, just from everyday conversations to raising your two boys to your careers. Please share with us.
Well, first of all, I was a Jewish Catholic. My mother was a Shitska. She married a Jewish gentleman, and everybody in the family did not accept her, except her best friend from school, my dad's sister. And
Wow.
so I had some of that. Nobody wants this. And in the beginning, mother wanted us raised Jewish because she
Okay.
felt that parents should, kids should be raised in their father's faith. Then when they divorced and she took us to Paris to learn how to cook, and she went to Cordon Bleu, she still tried to keep it up. But, she'd send the menorah with me and he'd go, "What's this?" Because he was one of those retail Jews who only went to church on Easter to please his mom. And
Okay.
we had a Christmas tree and everything because my dad's family ran a department store in Buffalo called LL Berger's. And, the Christmas trade, all of the holiday trades were very important. And then I was still studying that, and my best friend was a Quaker Dutch Reform, and I gave my mother a speech on freedom of religion and left to join the Quaker Dutch Reformed Church because, hey, Judy belonged. And what I remember best is it was a long time before I joined the church, because one of the things that my rabbi said is that Jesus was a very good Jew and a wonderful rabbi, but he never said anything that they're saying about him. And eventually I ended up at a Unity church, and which I very much loved. And then I'm at North Hollywood Church of Religious Science because during 9/11, I was singing in the choir at Unity, and one of my choir member friends was doing catering. She said, "I can't do anything. I have to talk to people." And she told me she was now going to this church that had a service at 11:30. And I said, "That's my religion." And so I joined because of that. And I've been with them since 2001.
Wow.
Mm.
That's great. That's quite the journey. I love how you had your voice at such a young age.
Well,
And
I
knowing
knew
what you
everybody
want.
was supposed to. My mom said, God has many homes and all steeples point toward heaven.
Oh, that's
So
beautiful.
that's the one thing I never, ever wanted to go to a church that said they were the only one, because I don't believe that. I believe
That's
people
beautiful.
find it in different ways, and however they find it, that's perfect.
Yes. Right. It's what resonates with the individual,
Mm-hmm.
and it's a beautiful way. And I really love that your mother really conveyed that beautiful lesson
Yes, and it was
and
very
approached
important.
life. Yeah.
She was
That's
on the
powerful.
National Council of Christians and Jews. She was also working for the NAACP. And when we lived in South Africa, there wasn't even apartheid yet. It was terrible. People lived in boxes. And she rescued two. Maggie and Jackson became our chauffeur and our cook. And Gracie became the baby's nurse and lived with us and, had a home and not in a box. And
Beautiful.
so
That's
I
beautiful.
learned from her that everybody, it doesn't matter what color you are, it doesn't matter anything. It's your heart.
Absolutely. And I love that because it's so true. Because if we were all carbon copies of one another, what a boring world this would be. And we can learn so much from one another just by opening our heart and opening our ears and
Yeah,
listening and letting people have a voice. It's beautiful. Oh my gosh, I want to cry. Your mom's words should be etched on every billboard across this world
I
and
wish it
really to
would
take it to
because
heart.
true.
Yeah.
It's absolutely true. My children currently are not choosing to go to church, although, hey, I had them trained in meditation. I had they started out at a Lutheran church. And
Right.
I remember when we were living in Redmond, I took my son and his best friend to a Lutheran church for a meeting, and there was a buffet afterwards, and I was at that, and they were fighting in front of the altar, pretend sword fighting. I said, "What are you doing?" And they said, "Well, we prayed first." So,
Ah, oh my gosh, that's classic. That is classic. So you really learned about the power of the word and an open heart so early on in your life,
yeah,
and you
very
really
early
have
on.
lived that every step of every part of your journey. You've lived that openness, that willingness to just be whoever needs help, whoever needs a comfort, whoever just needs a conversation. It's this beautiful safe haven that you've created for people without even saying, this is me, this is what I'm doing, this is who I am, and this is what you get. There's no smokes and mirrors. It's love
Yeah,
and grace to everyone. I
pretty
love
much.
it. I, you know, that's beautiful, Susan. I just, that makes my heart soar. And more people need to really hear that. They really do.
I wish they
And
would, because I see
yeah,
so much division right now in our world and here in the
yeah.
United States. And I look
Hmm.
at it and I can get angry about what's happening. I can get angry about the war. I can get angry about all of that, but anger feeds it.
Yes, it does.
So,
It really
Dad,
does.
and some nights I'll wake up and I'll sit there and think about it and
Hmm.
stew for a month, 2 or 3 hours, and that's terrible. But
Yeah.
then I do remember it's spring outside. There's flowers, there's children laughing, there are terrible
Yeah.
things happening, and there are wonderful things happening. And I'm
Yes.
trying to, I was at a No King's Day march, but other than that, I will vote when the time comes, and I respect that
Hmm.
everybody will vote their own way and not necessarily fully agree with me. But I'm glad we can all vote. And
Yes.
in the meantime, I will enjoy the flowers and enjoy the laughter
Yeah.
and keep my mind on those things.
And that's such a beautiful approach because if we go into the negative and get sucked down that rabbit hole of it, then that heaviness comes on our mind, it comes on our body, and we can't even feel like we can put our best foot forward.
Yeah,
So
and we
by
can't do
remaining,
anything. We freeze and then we say mean
yeah,
and angry things. And
right,
I can't do that. I have friends who do not believe as I believe, and I'm not losing
mhm,
them over it.
right, right, because we all have our own thoughts, our own ways and beliefs. But if we appreciate where someone's coming from and you don't try to badger them that you have to think the way I do, then friendships are actually more elevating and loving and family connections because you're allowing people to have a voice.
Yeah.
And it's
And
important.
you don't need to be right. You do need to be happy.
Yes, absolutely. And I love that. I love that. And if people would realize that at such a fundamental level, it would cause such a beautiful ripple effect across the world that people are being heard. You have your right to your opinion, but because what I believe, you don't believe it, doesn't mean I'm right, you're wrong.
No,
And
it
I
just
love
means
that. I love that. Be happy. That's beautiful. Beautiful. When your boys, they're now adults, when they were young, were you writing for children then?
yes, actually I was writing with my younger son Christopher, who was, I think, 9 or 10 when we started. And I had been through a divorce. And one of the things I had to do was write a lot of stuff. And that was a big experience because you can't let that destroy what was. We were good friends and lovers for 21 years. And
Wow.
all right, that didn't negate the love that was. And, you know, we expressed by having children. And I didn't want the kids ever to think they weren't born in love, because they were. And
Yeah,
Barry and
that's
I made
beautiful.
friends, and we are friends. He's remarried and I adore her. And she's just right for him. And I'm not with anybody. I don't want to be with anybody right now. I'm having fun. And
Good
I
for
can,
you.
you know, eat crackers in bed. And I'm happy to be remote when the kids aren't here. And
Good.
but you know, it's been good, but to get there was a journey.
Mhm.
And a lot of journaling and a lot of everything, because I could not afford the hate. And it's very
No,
easy
and
to do.
yeah, at times it. I was talking to somebody at lunch today, and we were talking about kindness is so much more easier to give than it is to be hating against someone or to be rude against someone. And by us releasing any of that negative feeling, we're only bestowing love upon ourselves and the other people around us. And it takes less muscles to smile on our face than it does to frown. So it's better for our frown lines anyway to keep smiling. So
Yeah.
and I love that you remain friends, really conveyed to your boys that they were brought into this world with love and they will be continued to be loved. And
Uh-huh.
that's so beautiful. I know that you wrote several children's books
The
and
first one was called Jamie's Dream, and I started writing it. I went, when we were living in Redmond, I went to a children's writing conference there, and then I joined a children's workshop to how to write and things like that. And I needed ideas, and so I started this book, and I asked Chris what happens next, and he told me. And this was when he was, I'm pretty sure 9 or 10, and it was published when he was 25. That was my
wow.
first one.
Yeah, talk about a publishing journey, right?
Right. And it was about, it's not seeing is believing, it's believing is seeing.
Yeah.
And it was fun. And
What a
eventually,
collaboration.
Guardian Angel picked it up. The funniest thing is, though, there is a mistake in the book. Now, I worked on this book for more than 10 years. I was in a
Right.
lot of critique groups. I wrote it over and over and over and rewrote. And then it went to my publisher, Linda Birch, and she read it. And then the illustrator, Kim Sponico, read it. And I was reading it to my grandchild, and I realized that on one page, the teacher was Mrs. Marble, and on the next page, she was Miss. I went,
Oh,
why not? That's just not possible.
right. Those sneaky typos, they have a
Oh,
way of
yeah.
getting in there. And then you feel like your heart drops and you're like, no, this
No,
can't
no,
be happening.
but it can. And I don't care if you talk the book to yourself, which you should also, of course, do. One of the
Right.
things, best ways to edit is to read it aloud.
Yep. Yep.
And
Because your eyes get so focused in
they
as to
do.
what you think you're saying and you miss it. You just miss it. And it's hard to
Right.
proofread your own work.
It's very hard.
Yeah.
I always have somebody else do it, but I also do it.
Right. Absolutely.
So I ended up writing, I don't know, I've written a number of children's books. They're not all published. Linda had accepted 2 more from me. And Sunday Cat already had an illustrator. And my sister Ella had an illustrator, Casey Snyder. And then it closed, so those didn't happen. But one of the funnier things that happened is, have you ever heard of NaNoWriMo?
Yes.
Okay. I had never heard of it, and somebody told me in whatever year I did it, National Write a Novel Month, I think it was 2009, that had been going on for a while. And they
Hmm.
said, well, you can write a novel of 50,000 words in a month. And I said, no, you can't. And I thought, all right, I have to try it. So I sat down with zero in my mind
Okay.
and did that. And that's how I ended up with my first adult romance, which was then called Second Chances, I think, and now is Time and Forever, because there are so many books called Second Chances. And my
Right.
publisher said no. But the other thing that happened is I went through my church. There's oh gosh, what's her name? Julia Cameron, The Artist's Way. A guide to bringing back your creativity. And I'd done that
Hmm.
course, and it was wonderful. And I did it again with my church, and everybody was producing things. And I thought, I have to produce something. I must do something. I will write the great American novel. So I did. The problem was it was a little short, 65 words. So I thought, if I don't illustrate it, nobody will understand it. So
Right.
I thought,
Right.
well, how hard can it be? I can draw one dog, one hog, one log, one bog, and a little fog, and then move them around the paper. And so I did that. I scanned the drawings and then moved them around and rescanned them. And it was a joke. But then I was trying to get things published, and there is a wonderful publisher, Alan Johnson, at something books. She's part of Simon and Schuster and Beach Lane Books.
Okay. Yep.
And I heard her and Marla Frazee. They wrote Boss Baby together, by the way, among other things.
Okay. Yep.
Talk at a bookstore, and I asked if I could send her something, and I did, and she rejected it, but she rejected it with a handwritten note from an editor with
Wow.
stickers. And I
Yeah.
was so, oh, I'm 60 something. Nobody is ever going to read anything I write, but I need to send her something. So I sent her my log on log, my great American novel. And I explained it was a great American novel, had life, death, the American dream, and could be read by a 2-year-old. And she called me and said, I just heard this voice on the phone saying, you didn't send an SASE. And I said, who is this?
Oh. Oh.
Alan Johnson. And I went, oh. And she said, I think we can publish this. And then about 9 months later, I got a contract. And I actually had a contract with Beach Lane Books, and they sent me $3,000. And then they were going to send the other three when I made the changes they want. But somehow in 10 years, it never got published, and they returned it to me. But that
Okay.
moment of selling and having
Oh,
it happen was
huge.
amazing. So I still have
Huge.
fun.
And to get a handwritten note and then to get a phone call in these different
Yeah,
experiences
just
is huge. Yeah. And for those that are listening, the publishing world, when you get that personal contact, whether it's a decline or it's an acceptance, to get something handwritten from someone is
the only
extraordinary.
handwritten one I ever had. But
Yeah.
I had a lot of
Yeah.
rejections, but that one, and
Right. That's
stickers. It had
beautiful.
little stickers.
And I love the fact that you've written for children and you write for adults too.
Hmm.
And I love that you have such a talent for the beautiful word, regardless of what level you're writing for. And it just comes across so beautifully all the time. And I know that speaking earlier, how we talked about how your mom really guided you, and you obviously guided your children, your young men now, the same way. And the conversations that you have with people, the words that you choose are so important, besides the words that you put down on paper, because words can hurt,
Oh yeah.
words can lift someone up. And if we really take that time to step back, don't do that knee jerk reaction, and kind of wait on our response a little bit, it just calms the energy
Yeah.
down between people, and it can elevate it for the positivity too. And I'm just so impressed by your acting career, your publishing career, and how you approach life with such brightness and love for everyone around you. And by doing that, you're creating such a beautiful atmosphere that truly goes out to the people that you've never even met before, because they really feel that. And when people start to feel someone else's positive energy and that they're putting their best foot forward, it truly cultivates love in the world. So I commend you and applaud you for doing all that you do. Is there anything in your works in progress for your writing or for your acting right now that you'd like to share with us?
Well, let's see. I just did another episode of Nobody Wants This, which kind of looks funny on your calendar because it says Nobody Wants This costume fitting. Yes, I want it. Nobody wants this call. Do you like musicals, Donna?
Yes, I do. I do.
Well, the star of Book of Mormon is Andrew Rannells, and he's the one who sang the I Believe song. And when I was doing this episode of Nobody Wants This, he was in it. And I was so excited.
Oh,
We had
that's
great time
wonderful.
talking, because I know who you are. And
Yeah.
then that happens to me. People now, because of jury duty, will go, "It's you." And I'll go, "Yes,
Yeah.
it's me,
Right.
whoever I
Right.
am."
And when I told my daughters that we were connecting in this podcast interview, they're like, "Oh, I'm not sure who Susan Berger is." I said, "Oh, yes, you do." I go, "She was in jury duty." And they're like, "Really? Which one was she?"
A sleepy one.
Yeah. And I say, and they were just so they say hello. And
Oh, well, hi to them. It was so
I
much
will.
and we still see each other. In the first place, there's a new jury duty, only it's called Company Retreat. It's the same creators and the same idea with a hero. And all of us were invited last week to the premiere at the Culver Theater where we had ours. And Ronald, our hero, was there, and Anthony, their hero, was there. And our most of our cast, some of us couldn't be there. And,
Right.
just to see each other again was wonderful. And we're going to a party tomorrow night. They've invited our jury duty cast to go to their company retreat. And
Oh, how exciting.
it's going to be so much fun. And my son is in the last episode of Company Retreats. So I will go with him and his wife, which is,
Oh, great.
but
Oh, what a family event. That's
oh,
beautiful.
it
I
is.
love
And
it.
I've seen the first 3 episodes and it is so good. They did a great job. It's about a kid who thought he was hired as a temp to help with this company retreat thing because they needed, an assistant. And he is
Hmm.
such a nice human. Um, Anthony, he's great. And I just loved him from the first moment he appeared. And,
That's fantastic.
our cast's meeting is really fun. And
Oh my gosh,
they,
yes.
they they say, well, they say to us, well, you guys set the bar, and I think they've just raised it a bunch. But the other
That's
thing is, we're all
fantastic.
still in chat. We have a group chat that we can all,
Oh, that's fantastic. I love it.
yeah.
I
And
love it.
then I'm in
Because
a
right
Wordle
before
group.
we, yeah. And before we aired here, I was joking with Susan about, oh, technology. It can be annoying at times, but then in cases like that, how you're able to stay in touch in this beautiful group chat with your
Oh,
cast members
yeah.
that's where the
And
positivity of the technology comes
and you're old enough to remember, I think, maybe not. But in the
in.
olden days, before cell phones and before they took the money off long distance, when you got to college, you'd call your parents collect and they wouldn't
Right?
accept the call, but they'd know you were safe.
Yep, absolutely. And you would always call like Sunday night at 6 p.m. so they knew it was you calling.
Uh-huh. Absolutely.
the,
So
de- the
you couldn't
designated
talk.
time. I love it. So, Susan, before we wrap up our beautiful conversation, and I'm so excited for your get together party tomorrow night, for those listeners out there, where can they connect with you online?
Let's see. I'm on Facebook. I'm on TikTok, which is insane because that was
That's
because the
that is
jury.
insane.
Well, somebody told me, we went viral. We didn't expect anything to happen. And they said, well, you've got like 10,000 followers on TikTok. And I said, what? I don't even have an
You're
account.
like, what?
Yeah.
I'm
And
not even on
so
it.
they showed me wrong. We were at a filming thing, and some of the cast said, well, this is how you do it. And they said, you hold the camera like this, and then you take the picture. That's wrong. You have to do it this way, up. My grandson, a long time
Aw,
ago.
adorable.
But because of that, I'm on there, and I don't do it often, but I'm on TikTok. I'm on Instagram. I think I'm Susan James Berger, at Susan James Berger. I think I wrote it down for you because I only go
Yes,
there. I don't know what it
right.
is.
I have susanjberger.org
Oh,
and then
those are my websites.
susanbjames.com. Those are your websites. Yep.
Uh-huh.
Yep.
I have 3
Beautiful.
websites. It's terrible.
Okay. For the listeners, that will all be in the show notes when this episode appears. And Susan, I'm just so tickled pink that you joined me this evening.
Well, I want to
Is
say
it-
that first book, Time and Forever, is about 2 women in their 60s, time traveling back to 1969. And there's a lot of geekiness in it, of course, but one finds an old love and one finds a new. And the second one follows the sister of the hero of the first one, and that's also a time travel. And then the third one is in Ireland, and it's got a leprechaun. Same
Yes.
family.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
And
And in the
coming
show
out.
notes, and in the show notes, for all the listeners out there, all of Susan's books will be listed, and so that you can easily refer to them and hop on and go to your local bookstore or hop on to online and purchase them online. And so all that information will be there. So Susan, I am profoundly grateful for our time together and honored to have this connection with you. And I wish you continued positivity and blessings through everything that you do because you radiate love. And thank you.
It's really easy. I'm a rainbow and unicorn kind of person. And if you don't like my rainbows and unicorns, don't get in my head.
Yep, that's true. That is true. So thank you, Susan.
Thank you, Donna.
Remain humbled and honored. Thank you. Thank you for tuning in to the Energy of Serenity podcast. I appreciate you taking the time to explore the power of the word, mindfulness, and calming practices with me. My gift to you is $10 off any Energy of Serenity service, class, or product when you opt in to the Energy of Serenity newsletter at energyofserenity.com/newsletter and enter coupon code Thank You EOS, all lowercase. If today's episode resonated, please subscribe and engage in the comments. Until next time, may your energy be serene and your words be empowered. Namaste.